Hello, my friends. Wanted to make a comment on Steve Harvey. First of all, I don't care for Miss Universe or any of that stuff. I think it's ridiculous. But I guess there was sometimes with Puerto Ricans we've had like five Miss Universes. That's pretty cool. But as far, I'm not into it. I don't watch it and stuff. But I truly don't care that this guy made a mistake, Steve Harvey, as far as who he gave the crown to or any of that stuff. Steve Harvey, yes, he has funny jokes, and that's it, and that's it. The guy, if you listen to his interviews on CNN and whatever, he's a right-wing idiot when it comes to opinions. He's a sexist, bigot. He says, people ask him that why you think men cheat, and he blames it on women. He says men cheat on their wives because there are women to cheat with. In other words, it's the women's fault. I'm a guy, and I think you cheat because you cheat. It's got nothing to do with the women out there. You're like other women. And he's also bigoted when it comes to people who don't believe in God. If you listen to his interviews, I listened to one the other day. He's telling women that don't date guys who don't believe in God because they're idiots. The guys, he's ignorant when it comes to science. He says that if man evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys around? That is the stupidest argument I've ever heard, and it reflects a high level of ignorance when it comes to science and evolution, because we have a common ancestors, chimpanzees and us. So a common ancestor means we come from somebody. We're cousins, the chimpanzees and us. So there's an uncle back there that we come from. It doesn't mean that the uncle is alive, okay, or exists any longer. So, and then here's what disturbs me about the United States and its present state. This country is morally bankrupt, and very hypocritical about it, and intellectually absolutely incompetent by design, by the right wing, who has if you look at the mentality of people. This guy has a show where he radio show. People call him and they send him letters for advice on relationships, mostly on relationships and many things that this person is not trained for. I doubt that Steve Harvey has ever set foot in a university, a psychology course, or any type of training, doing counseling or any type of sociology courses of human behavior, human development, any formal training. And the problem with that is that, okay, so you don't have any training. That's fantastic. That's not a problem. The problem is that people in this country have decided that science and trained people who are trained scientifically and in college and professionally to give advice in these manners and are not competent. Being educated gets frowned upon and gets mocked in this country. People in this country, not all, but many people in this country They make fun of people who are smart. People they call them geeks, or they make fun of the kids all the way from little school, and parents sign off on this, making fun of kids who read a lot, who educate themselves a lot, who are very studious, and the end result is a population who laughs at higher education, who calls in on a talk show host with zero training on how to give counseling, like Steve Harvey, a guy who's obviously a bigot against non-religious people, who's sexist, who cannot speak correctly. He uses vernacular street slang on every time he speaks. And nothing wrong with it. I mean, he made a living making jokes, but you can't, what do you expect? What is it that you expect that a person who tells jokes for a living to do about you and your marriage? Why do so many people in this country look for advice on personal matters, developmental, sociology, marriage counseling in a guy who in a comedian? Why is that? Think about that. Why do people call in a comedian and expect them to fix their relationships and their lives? And they listen to him, So, the shame is on the people who believe this crap, And one thing that always bothered me when Bernie Mac died, number one, I understand that Bernie Mac's family was, his wife and his children, they went to church and stuff like that. But Bernie Mac was not religious, As a matter of fact, he was anti-religious. He made fun of it. He said it all the time. I walk alone. I walk alone. He never preached. They actually made fun of that. I found church and religious people and religion and all that stuff. And it pissed me off that fucking, Steve Harvey gets up there in his funeral and takes it captive and claims that, uses Bernie Mac's death to preach his religion. He shouldn't have done that, He should not have done that. I think that was disrespectful to Bernie Mac. But religion, they always, a lot of this religious people, they take everybody else's circumstances hostage, and they preach their own stuff. So I don't, I didn't like. I mean, he wasn't, he's funny and all that stuff, but he wasn't my favorite comedian. But now that I've seen who this guy really is, I really don't like him. So, Steve Harvey. Bye.